I was digging through the bookshelf back there, pulled up. Yeah, this one goes back a ways. There's a few steps to developing a learning organization, right? One of them is core to everything. It's right, having competencies, building your work, the learning work around what it is that we're wanting to build towards, right? We call that competencies in the schoolhouse front. I want you to think about, go back to your sophomore year. Can you do that? What song is playing? We got a ton of Prince. Yeah, we got Purple Rain. Yeah, all the good 80s music that's populating my head right now. But think about that B+ that you got in chemistry, and maybe that C that you got in algebra, the algebra 2, right? Because you're a sophomore. From that teacher who clearly just had it out for fourth period. Remember that class that you were in? Yeah. Let me ask you, did that grade measure what you knew? Or how well you learned, like me, to just play the game? Honk if you believe that you got the right grade. Yeah, also honk if you're just being honest, and we all just kind of learned to play the game, didn't we? Here's the uncomfortable truth. I think the math, if you spent the last 2 years dismantling that exact system for your students, many folks in K-12 are talking about it. I have not seen enough doing it. Seriously, over the last 13 years, there's been just more talk than action. Standards-based grading, proficiency over averages, evidence over vibes. Now ask yourself the same question about your leadership team. That's what I'm getting at here. Competencies for your leadership team. We're starting to have conversations right now as it relates to overall student learning. But what about for your leaders? I don't bump into folks, honestly, that are talking about the competencies needed for their next hire, be it a BPAA, be it a assistant superintendent, whatever the position might be. We talk about the positional requirements, but we don't talk about the competencies. I'm just challenging you here a little bit because I've challenged myself with that same thinking. Okay. So yes, there are very, very few. In fact, Wyoming ran the most detailed statewide audit of standards-based grading anywhere in the country. I found this research report. Why Wyoming? The finding, 10% of middle schools, 5% of high schools are in the process, like still talking about it, not doing it, just in the process and talking about it. Yeah. So nothing's going to arrive. I'm with all of the headwind of other things that districts need to deal with, it ain't happening. Yeah. But you hold those numbers and then look at your cabinet. My guess it's even less. It's even less as you talk about the competencies needed in order to lead people and lead and manage higher performance systems. Right? So if you think about your cabinet, leadership team, 8 people, roughly $140,000 each, that's $1.1 million sitting at that conference room table. Cha-ching! Yeah. Now run it at about 60% collective capacity, which is exactly level 1 and 2. If you put this thing on a rubric, you need to do level 5 work in order to transform the organization. And you're getting, I don't know, 600,000 of value out of a $1.1 million cabinet. Folks, we're not talking enough about competencies because that's where this work lies. Building trust is a competency. And you cannot empower your team, but you're talking about empowerment without building trust first. It's kind of developmental. Everybody's going into this year saying, how can we be more of a collaborative culture? Well, that doesn't happen, folks, without first having the competencies of being able to build trust. And that's a leadership skill. And empower others. That isn't something where we just say, I'm going to give you the keys and get out of your way. No, that's abandonment, folks. I'm talking about real live empowerment, which is not an art form, it's a skill set. So building collaborative environments, broadening your influence. You need to know that we're all wired to show up in certain ways. And sometimes we see the world as we are, but not as it is. That's a leadership competency. Self-awareness, but also self-management and understanding who's on the other side of me and how do I broaden my influence to that, right? Oh, I wish I would have this conversation, this talk 20 years ago. Honestly, broadening influence does not happen unless you work in a collaborative environment. And then you think some of the things in the upper tier, managing change. Anybody have any change to manage? Yeah. Like, can we dial that back just a hair? That's a real thing. So what is the skill set? What is the competency that you would grade your next in line leaders in terms of how well they manage change? What's the skill set? How about manage conflict? That's also a skill set, right? And it can be measured. That's what I'm getting at here. How do you create a learning-based organization? You got to have competencies so that you can effectively measure them. How do you have effective leader competencies? You've got to be objective about it, not subjective. And I have not met an organization. I honestly want you to push back and just message me with a violent reaction that says, we're doing this, Joe, and here's what it looks like. I haven't found you yet, so I'm looking for the standard. I'm looking for the standard. If that's you, I'd love to brag on you. Who is building their leadership system around competencies that are common across your entire leadership team and that are built uniquely, individually, through your one-on-one coaching, through your training, through your team development, so that your team can get through all 7 of the leader competencies. There are 7 of them. At the very, very tippy top, guess what? What's at the summit of a competency? Take a minute. What is it? Did you come up with it yet? It's not listening. That's always the one that I get. It's listening. No. I don't know. I don't even know if that's a skill set. It kind of is, but at the very, very tippy top of the competencies is developing other leaders, right? People like me come into your organizations to give you kind of like a glider tow plane, gets them up in the air. But then you ought to be building your own leaders. Don't farm them off to conferences and that one association that does all your development work. No, you solve your own problems internally and you also build your own people. But you've got to have the competencies in order to do that. Otherwise, it's distortion, because you're going to have your team built around this stuff. And you're building it based upon the foundation that somebody else built with their stuff. And guess what? In a year or two, you're going to get called up to a different position, and that person is going to build their stuff around their stuff, right? So I think having a almost policy driven, but you can make it research driven. If you're interested in knowing, okay, Joe, you've talked enough about competencies. We got to know where to find this stuff. You know where to find me. You can message me. I will send you a PDF of the leader competencies. We've got rubrics built for each one of the competencies, and better yet, all of these competencies are taught throughout the 10 session Team Institute. And we are, enrollment's still open. Enrollment's still open for fall. We only take 4 teams per quarter. So that's something, if you're thinking, my team, I think, is more accidental than intentional in terms of our growth and development in-house. We're farming people out just like everybody else. But wouldn't it be great for us to have our own OS, operating system for how we build our people? and how they will build our people. That's what this is about, the Team Institute. It gets you started, it gives you the tools, it equips you to drive all of your development work in-house forevermore. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, you know where to find me. Honestly, send me a message. Love to talk more. I just get uber excited about competencies and rubrics, and not necessarily around standards-based grading, because I'm not seeing where this is really taken hold. But standards-based leading, let's go. Let's go. Our system is broken, and we need leaders that are driven by just pure research-approved competencies in order to break through that broken system that we're all just taking a swing at.